Anyway, the two teams strategically are trying to outmaneuver each other. For the most part, the defenders, as you can see here, are staying to one general area, but they have been moving around, positioning themselves on different parts of the mountains. You can see that Marius and Stubble in their Black Lantern and Warhammer are now attempting to join the rest of the main forces that have remained on that large mountain that they've been on for pretty much the entire time. They have split off Bob, Chezar, and Serpentis, though, so they're attempting to set up a new crossfire position. Now with only Serpentis and Chezar, the two teams are, I would estimate, are about 1.2 kilometers away, 1,200 meters away. Neither team really has, I don't believe, has any light Gauss or machine gun weapons, so they haven't been firing on the Raven. The Raven now is pulling back out of the crater to in a southerly position, and the rest of his forces are behind him south of the crater, and the defenders are north of the crater, and the two main forces are easily 1.5 kilometers, if not even further out from each other right now. So sometimes you end up with this in a defensive battle, just lots of positioning, and you just end up with a situation. We have contact, or somebody fired at something. Yes, the Tikonov main forces were being flanked by Serpentis in his Cougar, and we have contact, so no more holds. That's a victory. Serpentis, Chezar, and Bob are now flanking about 600 meters away, 500 meters away from the Tikonov main forces, while the rest of their team is still on the hills. They're trying to bait them in. They've split up their forces 4 on 4. With Serpentis probably with drop commanding probably being split between Serpentis and Marius, or perhaps Proxima and Marius, and Tikonov is taking the bait and coming cautiously forward. Now the defense flank force is moving up into the hills. They are sending Stubelborn back with his Warhammer, and Bob is also getting away, while Chezar and Serpentis are cautiously checking the trails. The Stubelborn Warhammer is now going to die, period. He has one mech firing on him, and the entire Tikonov force smells blood and is now moving in on Stubelborn. He has help around him. Zoidberg, realizing that this is partially a trap, and having his team get all together and trying to set up for, there's a single pass about 1 mech wide required to go up and attack the forces. And now full fire. The teams are firing all weapons, and there goes Chezar. And there's going to be more mechs than that, because they are outnumbered 8 to about 3 right now. Just raining fire. You can see all of the weapons loadouts. Serpentis is dead now, and Stubby will be joining him. And this map and this planet will belong to the Tikonov forces, and we will move on to the next campaign in the Chaos March. Still plenty of battle going on. I've seen stranger things happen, but given the number of deaths they've had, Stubelborn now down, it would take an absolute all-time match to turn this around. The flank is an interesting idea, but ultimately they weren't able to get back to their main forces in time, and while there was a choke point that forced Tikonov forces to come up one way to attack, they ultimately were not able, ultimately allowed them to keep their forces back in the open and concentrate their entire firepower on 1 mech at a time. And so that will ultimately be the story of this match, as the remaining defense forces have been split up about a kilometer from each other. Marius by himself and his Black Lantern just taking a beating from anything that can fire on him. Dolorich and Eratan are the closest assets, and are firing pulse lasers. Now Marius able to get away, create some room. Dolorich firing his pulse lasers and SRMs at Marius. As we zoom completely out, we can see that there are 4 remaining assets. The Black Lanterns are working in unison to attempt to kite, which they are able to do very well. They have an extreme speed advantage over anything that Tikonov has to offer. The defenders are not acting as if this match is over. They are still fighting hard, which is good. And it'll certainly be interesting to watch, but given an 8-4 or 8-5 advantage right now, it's going to take some really fancy work. They've Tikonov is stuck their forces together. They still have not forced a loss, or have not lost any assets, and they are now moving on the southern part of the map behind the crater, heading in a chase mode in an easterly fashion. They likely realize now that time is running low and are now proceeding to move completely away from the defenders, forcing the defenders to come after them if they desire. They also might be attempting to get into a better position. The remaining defense forces are now all pulled together north of the crater, east of the crater. There are 5 remaining forces, and Bob, Ivan, Marius, Proxima, and Star Wraith. So the forces that they have lost are important mechs, and all the players in this game are important, but they certainly have enough skill here to possibly do some severe damage. So the teams are working together. We've got 2 Black Lanterns left, a Thor with Star Wraith, and you can see it's dark out, and unfortunately I do not have night vision in spectator mode. They still have enough forces to do some severe damage here. My initial estimation that this battle would end immediately was very wrong. The outcome, I would still argue, is sealed, but let's see if the defense forces have a trick up their sleeve with which to move forward and do something. The Tikonov forces are now pursuing. They have the Raven up and have visual on the defense forces. They're Zoidberg taking the lead along with Dolorich and Palantir, moving along the rim of the crater in complete and perfect cover. They are in a uniform V formation. Now they are moving towards the crater, moving to the edge of the crater, and now may move into the crater to directly head on the defense forces. The defenders appear to be holding in their spot now, and any advance by the Tikonov forces would mean that they would be exposed to whatever long-range weaponry the defense forces still have. So they are moving forward. I believe that we are nearing the edge of the playtime. You can see that Marius and Bob are attempting to get close and get kite and get some shots off, but Tikonov was ready for that, and they are now in pursuit. They have an Osiris, which is the fastest asset they have to match speed. They now have a firing solution, and we have, I believe, the defenders are making their stand. The Raven is moving forward at full speed, and the rest of his forces are covering him, and they are completely focusing on Marius now. Missiles, MRM missiles away. The defenders have set up a wide crossfire attempting to set up a trap and force them to not focus on any one of their assets. They're getting very good hits on the defenders, in fact, on the attackers. The attackers have decided to move to the right, and there are 2 mechs over there, Ivan and Proxima, and they are focusing all of their attention over there. To our left, you can see the flank of the defenders is trying to move in to support, but now they are trying to overrun Proxima. They have taken down Proxima's partner. Proxima was able to take Dolarich and another pilot with him. So it is now 6-4, and it is just utter mayhem right here. Lasers and everything everywhere. Two pilots are taking on Ivan, while the rest of the pilots are focusing on Star Wraith, and Marius is being attacked by 1 pilot. So they've successfully broken concentrated fire. They're now focusing completely on Marius's Black Lantern. Star Wraith is being fired on by 2 mechs. Ivan is free, and Marius is doing a lot of damage in his Black Lantern, but he's also taking some severe punishment right now. They have split their forces again and are attacking a bit. Marius is going to probably go down soon. ATM's coming from the Rio of Ivan. The defenders are bravely putting up a hell of a fight considering the forces they have left right now, but the numbers are still going to probably go the way of their opponents. Ivan now just taking a beating from Mox as Marius goes down, and I believe Ivan is the only one left alive. And the final numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assets out of the original 8 for Tikonov. Make that 4. Ivan took down 1, so in the 4-1 remaining assets, the Tikonov forces take Map4 and thus take planet Pleione from the hands of the neutral defenders. The defenders came back in the last 2 maps and put up a hell of a fight, but ultimately this one is going to belong to the Tikonov task force as Ivan, the final mech, falls, and we have the end of our match. We thank you for listening and for watching on the Chaos March Network. Once again, the final result is in 3-1 maps. Planet Pleione falls to the hands of the Tikonov task force, and we move on to the next battle in the Chaos March in a new campaign. This is for SJ Vic Viper. This is SJ Duelist. We will see you next time.